Hey, it's Noah. I am sitting down with Art Alexakis of Everclear. They are going to be at Brown County Music Center tonight, September 7th. Then they're going to be at Fort Wayne at Pierre's Entertainment Center on September 9th. Live at Whiskey A Go Go releases tomorrow. It's their new live album that they recorded at Whiskey A Go Go. So let's call Art and let's do this thing.
Okay.
So you got the show tonight at Brown County. That's exciting. And you also have the show coming up at Pierre's Entertainment Center up in Fort Wayne on Saturday. And then tomorrow, your live album Whiskey A Go Go is releasing on September 8th. Tomorrow, like I said, digital,
hmm
physical, pretty much available anywhere, right?
Right.
Excellent. Are you gonna
Well,
think?
yeah, it's gonna be a digital CD and also, excitingly enough, double vinyl, which would be
Nice.
awesome.
Nice. I was gonna ask you about that because vinyl's coming back and it's a big thing now. Again, the hipsters got something right. So it's
Yeah,
awesome to
I
see
know.
that
Funny.
coming back.
Just think, I was a hipster back in the 70s when I was 14. Weird.
I love it. So how did the recording go? Did everything go to plan?
For the live album,
Yeah.
it's a trip, man. We were finishing up the West Coast tour,
Mhm.
which is the last leg of the 30th anniversary last year. We celebrated the 30th anniversary uh, in 2022,
Mhm.
and our last gig was going to be in LA, and we got offers from the usual suspects, bigger places,
Mhm.
and but we got an offer. I got the slow ball offer from the whiskey. I go, whiskey, really? I've never played the whiskey. He's like, really? I go, yeah, my whole career, never played the whiskey. Hung out there with bands, friends of mine, did bad things backstage, but I've never played there.
That's crazy
So
because
he booked. I know it's crazy. I grew up in LA. You know, I grew up in Los Angeles,
that is
and
crazy, man. Because you think Everclear is so synonymous with LA and California. You'd think that somewhere down the line
well,
you would have played.
people have that misconception. We were a Portland band. We started in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, that's
I
right.
lived there for 22 years.
That's right.
But people, I don't know, get the idea that we're a California band because, I'm writing about palm trees and
Yeah, that's fair.
sunshine and stuff like that.
That's fair.
Well, because that's what I grew up. That's what I grew up with. I think it's fair on both sides. I think
Yeah.
the misconception is actually makes sense. But
So
it was I say book the show. I don't care that it's an underplay. It's fun. Great way to end the year. Uh,
oh, yeah.
Literally, that was about months before the show. So about I'd say a month before the show, maybe a month and a half before the show. Call from this guy Tim,
Mhm.
who's an A&R guy. He used to be a guy at Capitol, not mine, but
Mhm.
while I was there, so I knew him. And he said he's working with a new label called Sunset Bolt Records and major distribution and blah 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 blah. Good for you, brother. Awesome. Because you want to make a record, I want to offer you a record deal right now. I go, absolutely not. Thanks for calling. Or should make. Hello,
There you are. Hey, I don't know what happened
can you hear
there.
me?
Yeah, I've got you
I, I
now.
think I, th- I think I know what happened. I was on the bus internet, and
Ah,
it's always dodgy, especially when you're out in the
it's all
middle of nowhere like we are today.
yeah.
So I'm on I'm on I'm on regular data now on the phone stuff, so we should be fine.
It's all good, Art.
So
It happens. I know
well,
Nashville's kind of
well
a doesn't really work
now
well with
I Indiana. I've never
yeah.
been here.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but the connection sucks.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see that. I haven't even been outside, man. I literally woke up 15 minutes before you called because I
Okay.
told myself I had to wake up in time for a phone call. It's weird. As I get older, I can do that. I can like I'm almost always set an alarm,
Mhm.
but I guess the brain can do it too. It's weird. Now, what were we talking about
We
before?
were uh, we
Yeah,
were talking about Whiskey A Go Go. and how
No, I know
everything
what
went.
specific one. Well,
And
anyway, so homeboy asked me if I wanted to do a live album. He goes, I see you're playing the whiskey, man. We can record there. They're all set up for it. And I'm like, wow, that's a great idea. And we talked to my boys about it, and we talked to my management. Let me think about it. I call him back in about an hour. I go, yeah, man, that's cool. Let's do this. Put through an offer. He goes, okay. He goes, so I'm going to send you an offer for 3 records. We can negotiate that. I go, no, 10. We're doing 1 record, one off, just one
yep.
record. That's it. And I need at least this much money to produce it and do all this stuff. So let's not don't waste time. And he came back with the ideal offer. And we did it. That was painless. And yeah, I called my friend. Um, I called some friends to help me produce it. Jim Kaufman was an amazing
Mhm.
uh, engineer and producer, and we had done a song with earlier in the year called "Year of the Tiger." So he came down and recorded it, and I told the label that I was paying for it initially because it's just one show, and usually
Yeah,
you record a bunch of shows. You
yeah.
record several shows. You got different versions of the song, and so this is going to be exciting if we pulled it off. If we didn't pull it off, I wasn't giving it to him. I was going to just eat the money for recording, which was huge. And I was just going to be okay. Never mind.
And then,
But it came out great. And so me and Jim mixed it. He mixed it, and we worked on it a little bit. Didn't do a lot. We didn't Pro Tool everything. We didn't auto tune everything. Um, cleaned up a few lines here and there. Left things a little sloppy. Left some notes that the takes were so great, but maybe the note was a little weird because it's a live album.
yeah,
I wanted it to sound live, and I don't know if you've heard it, but I'm really proud of it. It came out really, really well.
yeah, I haven't been able to hear it yet, but I'm very excited about it. I did listen to the single that was sent over to me, "Sing Away." That's
Well,
gonna be
here,
that's gonna be
well,
included
sing.
on the album, correct?
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, we needed another song for the record, so I went and recorded a song called "Sing Away,"
Mhm,
as you said, which was on my. I did a solo album in 2019, and a lot of personal, intense issues. Like this is an autobiographical, but it's pretty intense. I've got suicidal ideation in my family, and
yeah,
my kids have been bullied, and I was bullied, and just I have a friend who lost a child to bullyism and suicide,
yeah.
and just I do that a lot of times. I put together things for my life and create characters, and that's kind of how the song came around.
Yeah, I definitely got the
And
feeling from that when I listened to it. It was fantastic. I'm
yeah,
excited for
I don't
everybody
know
else to hear it.
if it had happened to my kid, I don't know that I could have wrote it.
Yeah.
I wrote about something really intense that happened to me on an album that came out in 2015 um, called Black is the New Black. I wrote a song called You,
Mhm,
which was about me getting raped and beaten up and abused when I was 8.
mhm.
And it was something I really didn't talk to people about for years and years and years. But I needed to write that song to get it out of me. But I knew then I would never play that song.
Yeah.
I never felt the urge to play that song um, live. Whereas with "Sing Away," it's such a I think it's a message that people need to hear, even if it isn't pretty sometimes.
Oh,
And
yeah, it was
it's
beautiful.
it's something we got to talk about it.
Exactly.
And I'm glad people are talking about mental health and suicide and just things that go along with that now because whether people want to admit it, it's in every family.
Mhm.
Every
Yep,
family.
yep.
Whether it
It's
comes to the surface or not, it's there.
yeah, it's a very,
And
very important thing to talk about.
yeah, man. And the video just came out phenomenal. And that gets released tomorrow. I'm super excited about that.
No, I'm excited for everybody to hear this song. It's a fantastic song about all the stuff you've just talked about. Um, but we're gonna move on now to, well, another thing with Whiskey A Go Go, I noticed that, on your guys' website, you posted a video for, Heroin Girl. So I was curious,
Yeah.
is there gonna be a possible film release, documentary style thing going on with this live show, or is it just a one-off music video for, Heroin Girl?
No, we recorded the whole thing, and I just got it edited by our guy,
Sweet.
Joseph Morley, who does all our video and art stuff. He designed the album.
Mhm.
Um, he does 95% of our stuff. I don't know if you saw it, but there was a 3-part um, series last year about the 30th anniversary that
Okay.
with Matt Pinfield that he filmed and edited and stuff. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know what we're gonna do with it, but we want to put it out after the tour and after the album.
Of
Um,
course.
I don't know how we're gonna put it out, but yeah, we're working on it right now.
Oh, it's gonna be great, man. I can't wait to see it when it if it eventually comes out, when it comes out. But going with
It'll come
touring,
out.
yeah. When, we're going into touring then, I know this is kind of like a weird thing to bring up, but you guys were a part of Woodstock '99. That was a big thing that's sort of coming back into public conscience with that Netflix documentary that dropped a couple months ago.
Yeah,
But, how
yeah.
has really touring and festival life changed since then?
You know, it's interesting because well, first of all, every band they mentioned at in that documentary,
Mhm,
there was a negative connotation to it. Every band,
mhm.
there was something negative that they mentioned. They didn't mention us at all, and I'm like, thank you, thank you very much. And it was like it was one of the best gigs. I mean, yeah, we played to 300,000 people,
Mhm,
um, and that's about half. It was as far as you could see going down that tarmac, and they were all singing ever Santa Monica, which was
mhm.
amazing. It was a bucket list moment of my life for sure. But it's interesting because festival like rock festival, um, that whole side of the business, that whole uh, thing,
Mhm,
really came into being in the '90s. You know, that really became a thing in the '90s and late '90s, and we've been doing it pretty much since its inception. It
mhm,
started as just radio shows, like radio stations would have festivals and have big bands play it, and you had to play it if you wanted to get your song added and played. Pretty much,
mhm.
that was never said, but it was implied, and we always did it, and it was great. We have great radio station relationships back then, and even now, and but I think the way it's changed has been just the fact that it's not as new as it used to be.
Yeah,
I mean, every town, small town somewhere has a shrimp boil or a state fair or a street scene or
yeah.
a block party, and you know they'll bring a bunch of bands in, and it's cool just the acceptance of rock music, like people bringing their kids to rock music. That wasn't a thing when I was a kid. That
Mhm.
wasn't a thing when I was in my teens or 20s. It started in the '90s, and it's just I think the way it's changed, it's just evolved.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed, I went to I forgot who it was, but I just noticed a bunch of kids out there hanging out, having a fun time, and it's like it's 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 weird, but it's like it's super great that kids are being accepted
Oh,
into this lifestyle of seeing all these great bands touring. Um, I think it's
my
fantastic.
da- my my daughter went and saw Metallica with her friend and her friend's parents. They took her, and
Nice.
you know, they're like, I like, can I buy the ticket? And they're like, no, it's not necessary. I go, how much is the ticket? And she's like, the mom was like, oh, it's like $265.
Mhm.
I go, Anita, let me buy the ticket. Seriously, here,
Yeah,
here,
tickets are getting crazy now.
here's $300. Make sure, for her to eat and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah,
You know,
tickets are getting really crazy.
that
I don't know how.
I bought my ticket to Zeppelin. It was $11
I know. I
in
know.
'77, and that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I scalped a ticket because I scalped a ticket, bought a ticket in the parking lot
Mhm.
for a Rush for $20,
Man, I would have loved to
and
see
that was
Rush.
oh, dude, it was Rush and UFO
Ooh.
on the yeah on the what was it, Farewell to Kings tour. It was awesome. With
I'm jealous,
Queen.
Art. I'm jealous.
Dude, it was so awesome. And you know what? I'm a bit of a punk rock guy since I found out about punk rock, but I've always loved Rush. I'll never give up my Rush to anybody
You
ever.
can never give up Rush.
They're,
Rush is fantastic, and
they're,
anybody who says
it's
otherwise is
just,
wrong.
they're just wrong. They're wrong. You know, I don't care who you are. You're wrong. Anyway, I agree.
All right.
So, what's your next question?
Well, I've got a couple rapid fire ones. There was a thing I found called the Proust questionnaire. It was something an old French guy came up with, just a bunch of different
Hmm.
questions, pretty much asking super short answers. And I've pretty much rockified it, if that's a word. Um, so I've just got a couple.
Okay.
I've got a
And
few rapid fire
I know
questions here
about
for
press.
you.
Okay.
First concert. What would be your very first concert that you remember? It could be something major, it could be something like a small town bar, something like that.
Well, I was taken to a concert when I was 4 down at Venice Beach,
Mhm.
um, and I was told it was the Doors. I remember the guy scared me. He was screaming a lot and walking around without his shirt on. And that was like a free concert in 1966. My first concert that I went to
Mhm.
was a concert called the California Jam was
Okay.
number one, the first one. It was when I was just turned 12 years old, and it was um, headlining was Black Sabbath, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, um, man, a bunch of bands. I'd have to
Oh,
look at the list of it,
I'm
but
jealous again. I'm
yeah,
jealous again.
and it was the first time I did psychedelic drugs. It was pretty awesome.
Oh, that's great. Um,
Yeah.
and then, let's this next one. Who, out of all the music that you listen to today, who is on your current playlist that you have to listen to?
Always, always the Beatles, always the Rolling Stones, always um, some form of hip hop. Right now, it's Public Enemy.
Really?
Um,
Okay.
I go through phases. Always, always Stevie Wonder, always Bruce
Fantastic.
Springsteen. I mean, these people were superstars for a reason.
Yeah.
They saw things that other people didn't see, and they just. I love people who write their own songs and sing their own songs. It's
Mhm.
big to me. That's always been something that matters to me more than like just a singer that can just sing. Even though I do love me some Frank Sinatra,
Yeah. I
you know,
love Frank.
I love Frank. What a stylist! I mean, he's just such a stylist, and his even though he wasn't a musician, man, he was very musical.
Mhm.
If you ever heard about how he was, so yeah, a bunch of different stuff.
All right. What is your most expensive rock memorabilia that you own?
Most expensive, like money expensive.
Well, or
Um,
in terms of sentimental value, what's like the thing that if you have friends coming over, this is the thing you point out? Just, a little humble brag.
okay, well, um, not at my house, but at my studio.
Mhm.
Um, my double platinum record for our album, so much for the Afterglow.
All right.
I don't even point it out. It kind of brags for itself, you know.
That's fair. That's
Um,
fair.
yeah,
All right, and
it's kind.
this one might be a little bit of a deep cut for you, but when is the next Summerland
Okay,
show?
don't know.
Don't know yet?
I don't know. I just started a brand new tour, man. But they always like that. We'll play a show. They'll be at the show after the show, and they'll go, "When are you coming back?" I go, "We just played. What do you care?
People are
We just
excited, man.
played."
They wanna hear Everclear.
I know. I guess so. I guess so. You can take a pill for that. There's medication for that. Um, um, I'd like to see it next year. I mean, it depends on who we can get. There's bands that are, a lot of the '90s bands. Some of them are too big
Mhm,
to do a tour like this, but there's some bands out there that haven't done the tour that I think would be in a great place to do it.
mhm.
And we're going to start looking into that after Christmas and start seeing what we're
Okay.
going to do next year for touring.
You
Yeah.
heard it here first, folks. Um
We're here first, folks. He doesn't have any idea what he's doing next year.
um, and we're gonna move past these questions now because I know we're running a little bit low on time, but before we get into the final question, for someone that's my age, I'm 26. I'm in, like the middle of millennial Gen Z area. Um,
Mm-hmm.
there was a show on Nickelodeon that I didn't know until I looked it up that you were a part of for a couple episodes, and it was Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. You were the music teacher, Mr. Gibson, on that. And I'm just curious. It's like, how did that work? Did you audition for it? Did they call you and be like, "Hey, come be a part of this show"?
They called me. The showrunner, the guy who created the show, was a fan
Hmm.
and asked me to do it, and I had no idea what it was. And I asked my, at the time, 12 or 13-year-old daughter, and he's like, "Everybody loves that show, Daddy." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Why not, right?
Everybody meaning everybody, but okay. And but I went down. The script looked fun, and it was just a great vibe on the set. Everyone was really cool, and he's like, "I don't have a name for the character yet." I'm like, um, he goes, "You want to name it? Want to name your character?" I go, "Yeah, I would have loved a music teacher named after my favorite guitar. Let's call him Mr. Gibson." And he's like, "Great." So I was Mr. Gibson.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And that is an acid test for kids like your age and maybe
Hmm.
a little bit older.
Hmm.
That it's like they would stop me on the street and just go, "Man, I know you're famous for something." I go, "Yeah, probably know me from my band I'll go, "Yeah, you probably know me from my band Everclear." And they're like looking at me, squinting their eyes. They're going, "Nope, nope, got nothing there." I go, "Oh, okay. Well, I've been in movies with, like I was in a movie called Wild, famous people and other movies and TV and then on Saturday Night Live. And stuff. Nope, 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 don't." There, and I go, "Oh, I know what this is." I go, "I run a show called Ned Declassified." Yes, you know, and it's that's how a certain segment of the population knows me is from TV. Shows you how powerful TV was
Oh yeah,
back in the day.
that's
Um,
fantastic.
yeah, and so yeah, that's fun. We just played with a band of younger kids meaning your age,
Yeah,
like 26, 27, 28, and they made a shirt with my character on the front of
that's
it,
amazing.
with a picture of my,
I gotta.
uh,
Is that
with
picture
the
up
line,
somewhere? I
with
gotta
the
find that.
um, I know, but it's it's a picture of like the scene where Ned's talking about bands like Smashing Pumpkins and Everclear, and I go, "Never heard of them."
That's fantastic. I remember that
And
scene.
that was ad lib. He let me ad lib a lot, you know. Yeah, because I think in the script said Everclear,
Mhm.
and then what the heck is that? And I'm just like, "Everclear, never heard of them." Yeah, it was fun. Um, yeah, it was fun. And the guys they put me with in the video in the show, the guys playing in my band, I just met them. They were just actors,
Mhm.
and I just, you know, that was it. That was my band. That was the weirdest thing in my career. It's just like didn't know those guys. Nice kids. They knew who Everclear was. You
Yeah,
know, they were musicians. But yeah. So that was fun.
that's great. Before we go, um, you've been called a lifer, someone that's been, pretty much living rock and roll for however long you've been doing it, and you'll probably keep going, until, you're down in the grave, It's kind of a dark way of saying it,
And
but, you know
until I can't, I'll keep going
exactly,
until I absolutely can't.
exactly.
Oh,
Um,
that's how you say that.
so what's the next step forward with Everclear? Are you gonna keep touring with more dates, less dates? Obviously, there's new music coming
Mm,
out tomorrow, and then
right.
maybe there's stuff you can't talk about that maybe like a little hint?
No, I can talk about anything. I want to keep putting out a new song or two every year.
Mhm,
You know, just for for the fan base to super serve them,
mhm,
for the fact that it's fun to be creative with the boys and record.
mhm.
Um, and but I don't want to make a record like a whole
Yeah,
record. We'll see. That could change, but I don't think it will.
okay.
Um, and uh, and it's fun. You know, just do a video and a song once or twice a year, and uh, and then we have something new to play in the set and keep the set moving. You know,
Keep
like
it
we
fresh.
always play all the hits, always play all the fan favorites, but
Mhm.
there's always about 5 or 6 songs in the set that are fluid. If people ask, like hit me up on social media, um, we'll play it if we know it, and
Yeah,
that's always fun to do.
keep it nice and
I
fresh.
think we got a request tonight for a song off a soundtrack back in the day called "Local God" that was on a soundtrack for uh, Romeo and Juliet,
Okay.
Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. So yeah, we'll do that tonight. You know, it's fun to do that.
Well, alright, Art, thank you for taking the time. I know I woke you up
Sure, man.
woke you up out of your sleep. Um, like I said, you guys are gonna be at Brown County Music Center tonight, and then on Saturday, you're gonna be at Fort Wayne at Pierre's Entertainment Center. Tomorrow, live at Whiskey A Go Go Drops, releases, whatever the right verbiage is for that. But, like I said, Art, thank you very much. Have a great show tonight. Break a leg.
Thank you, man. It's great talking to you. Have a
Alright.
wonderful day.
Thanks, Art. Have a good one.
Bye
Bye.
bye.